Every hour is unique, and the only one given at the moment exclusive and endlessly precious. Rabbi Abraham Joshua Schul. How much is our time worth? In a post-pandemic world, we re-examine how we spend our precious time. This period of upheaval has shifted our priorities and changed our definition of productivity. How much time do we give to labor? And at what cost? What makes that work meaningful? Join us for Working, a worship series that inspires ethical, bountiful, and sustainable futures.
Good morning, UUCA. Oh, awesome. Love that. Yes. So glad to have each and every one of you joining us here today in the sanctuary, as well as those of you who are joining us virtually. Welcome to each and every one of you. My name is Leroy Kennedy. I'm the sabbatical music director, and it's been such a joy to be spending this time with you. If you're at home, find a place where you can be present, light your chalice at home, close your eyes during meditation, and join in singing with the hymns. And with that, let's all stand and let's sing our opening hymn, number 1021, Lean on Me. Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain. We all have sorrow, but if we arise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when we're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride. If I have things you need to borrow, for no one can feel all of your needs that you won't show. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. If there is a load we have to bear that you can't carry, I'm right up the road. I'll share your load if you just call me. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'd understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. All right.
Yes, it is a beautiful morning here, beautiful Earth Day, Sunday, and I just realized that my little mic is not on my, I'm going to fix that later. Anyway, wonderful to see you all here. We have a big team joining us, leading us in worship this morning. We've got the Climate Action Team is in the house. 2/3 of the Love Supremes are in the house. And you are in the house, which is amazing. And you, well, you are in your house, but you are also with us in spirit. And so we are grateful that you have joined us. I'm Reverend Taryn Strauss, Senior Minister here at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta, where we are transforming lives through courageous action and soulful connection. Please know that wherever you are from, whatever path you are on, whomever you love, you are welcome here. I'd like to introduce Lee Cook, a member of the Climate Action Team, who will offer our announcements this morning.
Good morning. My name is Lee Cook, and I'm a member of UUCA's Climate Action Team, the group that is assisting with this Sunday service. Are you passionate about saving and savoring our earth? Yes. You can join our community Climate Action Team by going to the social action page and finding the information there. The live pollinator greenery provided this morning is donated by the Climate Action Team for Mama Earth to nurture our wonderful butterflies and bees. As you can see from our guests in the room today, our sanctuary is open. You do not need to register to attend. Just bring proof of your vaccination and a mask. Doors open at 10:50 and close promptly at 11. It's time again for our congregational meeting. We need you to join us to vote on our new board slate, receive our yearly report from Reverend Taryn, and get all the latest update on our new campus. Register now for the congregational meeting on May 15th at 1 p.m. at the link on your screen at home. Prepare for the meeting by attending a congregational town hall on May 1st and 8th at 1 p.m. where you can ask all your questions. Through the live chat, we can express love and care for each other. Please take a moment to say hello to each other and to anyone else who may be visiting into this morning's worship. Wonderful to say hello. Continue connecting at Zoom social hour after the service or out in the hall. Once again, we're glad you have chosen to worship with us this morning. And now, a special announcement from Sue Certain of the Climate Action Team.
If you or I were a climate saint, we wouldn't travel anywhere that wasn't local, because travel has an enormous carbon footprint. It's hard to be a saint, though, and UUs love travel. When you travel, donate to a carbon offset fund or a group dedicated to mitigating climate change. Did you know that UUCA has our own carbon offset fund? You did know. Good. These funds will be used for climate change mitigation at our new campus. For example, maybe an energy and water use dashboard, solar panels, or a composter. If you contribute to the UUCA Carbon Offset Fund, you benefit both the planet and your congregation. For more information, I refer you to the CAT's new Save and Savor blog and your weekly update, which is a great read, and y'all should check it out. And the article entitled The Cough or the COF. It's nothing to sneeze at. Thank you.
I'd like to invite, thank you so much, Sue, and I would also like to invite the entire Climate Action team who is joining us and leading worship to also lead us in our chalice lighting. As you can see, we have a little bit of a different chalice today. In honor of Earth Day, I think this chalice is actually made from earth. So we're going to learn a little bit more about this chalice later on in the service. But for now, I think please join us in our chalice lighting words.
May the light of this flame illuminate our tradition of seeking, invite all who yearn for acceptance, and ignite our passion for justice and peace.
I'd gladly walk across the desert with no shoes upon my feet to share with you the last bite of bread I had to eat. I would swim out to save you in your sea of broken dreams. When all your hope is sinking, let me show you what love means. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? I would whisper love so loudly every heart could understand that love and only love can join the tribes of man. I would give my heart's desire so that you might see. The first step is to realize that it all begins with you and me. Between your heart and mine, love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? When we stand together, it's our finest hour. We can do anything, 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 anything to keep believing in that power. Between your heart and mine, love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Yes,
Won't you please rise in body or in spirit and join You Moves, our movement choir, who will lead us in this morning's movement prayer. First, we bow to honor the Spirit of life. We lift our arms and embrace the gifts of spirits. We bring these gifts unto ourselves with gratitude and breathe and smile. We share the gifts of spirits with the world. We remember to be present, honor, embrace with gratitude, share, be present. Amen. The chime. And I think You Moves is going to stick around and lead us in our next hymn, and you can join in singing and also in movement from your seat.
There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my soul. And it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my soul.
Let us put hands upon hearts and feel the warm connection. Let love in this moment flow. Say to yourself silently, I will love myself. I will love others. And that love will heal the world. Now we hear the joys and sorrows of this congregation. We send our love and our healing energy to Janelle Denard, who just this week lost her beloved grandmother, Charmaine Palkovitz, and then suddenly this weekend also lost her oldest, dearest friend, Jennifer Salt. Please send messages of loving support to Janelle via Realm. You are invited to say the names of people you are holding in your heart this morning. Someone who can use some extra loving energy coming their way, or some place who needs some healing energy. Please write that name into the live chat or speak that name into this holy moment now. May all beings find connection. May all people find comfort. May all of us find more ways to be more loving. As humans have gathered for millennia, so do we gather on this day to gently surrender to something beyond ourselves. To ask forgiveness, to seek hope and renewal, to honor the earth that supports and sustains life, and to remember that all beings are inextricably and mysteriously connected, and to feel that connection. Now we still our bodies and we still our minds. We take in a breath and we exhale. We relax into this space that our intentions make sacred. We enter into the wise silence.
There's a river flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing in my heart, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my heart.
Good morning. I'm Laura Beth Brown, Director of Lifespan Religious Education, and our story this morning is Amara and the Bats by Emma Reynolds. Did you know that there were so many kinds of bats? I wonder, which is your favorite? All the bats. Yes. And Amara really loves bats. When Amara was very small, a bat got trapped in the attic of her old house. Amara asked if she could hold the bat, but her mother and her big brother Samir told her that she should wait for the wildlife rescue team. They would know how to handle and look after the bat safely. When the wildlife rescue team arrived, they caught the bat carefully and held it gently in a towel. Amara got to see the bat's fluffy face and beady eyes and delicate wings up close. Some people are afraid of bats, but Amara thought that they were just so cute. Part of her wished she could keep it as a pet, but Amara knew the bat would be happier out in the wild where it could fly and be free. Ever since then, Amara has loved bats. Her favorite thing to do is to collect all the bat facts she can and write them in her notebook. Mom, did you know that bats are nocturnal? That means they're awake at night. They hang upside down like this. And they're the only mammals that can fly. Amara and her family were moving to a new town. She was supposed to be packing up her room, but she kept getting distracted by more bat facts. Amara squeaked all around the house. Samir, did you know that bats have a high-pitched squeak that we can't even hear them? They use echolocation to find their food in the dark. I can hear you, Samir laughed. Amara and her family often watched the bats flying near their old house. She knew that all kinds of bats lived all over the world, so no matter where they lived, she'd always be able to see them. After they moved, Amara couldn't wait to visit the park in her new neighborhood to see the bats flying around at sundown. Did you know that most bats eat insects or fruit, but some eat fish, frogs, and even flowers? They have really long tongues to reach the nectar. They are amazing pollinators. But when Amara and her family got to the park, there were no bats to be found. They asked the park ranger about the bats, but she hadn't seen any in a while. Well, we used to have a few bats nearby years ago, but it's just me working here now, and more of the land is being sold to make room for buildings. Amara felt a sad feeling in her tummy on the way home. She couldn't stop thinking about the bats and their habitats. There was so much that needed fixing. She felt the weight of the whole world was crushing down on her. What could she do to help? Amara, her mom knocked gently on her door. I unpacked the rest of your books, and your new nature magazine arrived. Thanks, Mom, said Amara, feeling glum. It will feel like home soon, I promise. Her mom placed the magazine and Amara's bat books on the bed and then gave her a hug. Amara opened her magazines and started to read. There was a story about young people organizing beach cleanups to clear plastic from oceans, and another story about a boy teaching people to connect with nature by writing a blog and fighting to protect endangered birds. She found lots of stories and videos online about kids taking action to help animals and the planet. Soon, Amara realized if they could make a difference, so could she. And she had an idea. Amara showed her mom and Samir a picture of a bat house, a little wooden house built for bats to roost in. Maybe if we can help the park build some bat houses, the bats will come back. We have to try to save the park. She decided to talk about her idea and for show and tell the next day. She was new at school, so she was a bit nervous to stand up in front of her class. But Amara didn't have to worry because her classmates really wanted to help. They started to tell her about their favorite animals. Jasper loved tigers, and Lucy loved pangolins. Their favorite animals were endangered too. When Amara told Jasper and Lucy about the bat houses, they had some great ideas. We could have a bake sale, said Jasper, and paint signs. Lucy waved her paintbrush. What if we could build a nature reserve in the park so lots of wild animals would have a home in the city? Amara felt inspiration bubbling up inside of her. She loved a challenge. The entire class painted signs and baked cakes to raise money for the nature reserve. Amara's new friends all wanted to help the bats come home, so she was very happy. Amara's mom made some important phone calls, and soon the neighborhood gathered together to hold up their painted signs. It was hard work, but eventually people listened. The park would get its nature reserve. Over the next few months, volunteers helped make a bat-friendly sanctuary, a wild place where nature could flourish in the park. They made a new pond and planted flowers that smelled nice at nighttime, so lots of insects could come by for the bats to eat. The park ranger put the bat houses up in a special place with help from the wildlife rescue team. I hope they come back, Amara said thoughtfully. "We might have to wait a while," the ranger replied. "It's okay. I can wait." Every month, Amara and her family would check to see if the bats had roosted. They waited and waited and waited, but the bats didn't come. Amara tried to stay brave. One day, when Amara was eating pancakes for dinner, her mom got a phone call. They needed to go to the park right away. When they arrived, the ranger waved them over. Amara was nervous. Had something happened to the bat houses? Suddenly, her mom and brother whispered, "Amara, look." And there they were, flying above her. The bats had made a new home, and Amara felt at home too. It was the best feeling in the world. And speaking of young climate activists, on Friday night, on Earth Day, a group from this congregation gathered, a group of all ages, to watch the documentary film Youth versus Gov. And we want to show you a clip of it right now.
Like youth who have come before us in the civil rights movement and other social justice movements, it is often the young among us that shine the light on systems of injustice.
For a lot of young people right now, life is really scary.
Hurricane Matthew hit head on, and it's just so terrifying.
If this drought gets any worse, our way of life will dissolve.
Just as my family's farm is threatened by climate change, so too are the very stability and vitality of our country.
The government is taking actions that are directly contributing to the destruction of our planet.
We have evidence going back to the 50s that government and the fossil fuel industry knew that if they continued to burn fossil fuels, that it would cause catastrophic impacts.
That's when they started editing climate reports.
Is all because of choices that we had no participation in. And I'm scared for my future.
It's the greatest dereliction of civic responsibility in the history of the Republic.
21 young people ages 11 to 22 are suing the federal government
over policies they say are destroying their world.
We are not willing to wait around for someone else's timeline to dictate the trajectory of our lives.
I look forward to standing in court with all my fellow plaintiffs. I love you all.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth?
I do.
Whether we win the lawsuit or not, we are already making ripples in the world to show real change can come from young people standing up for what they believe in.
All right.
Of all the cases working their way through the federal court system, none is more interesting or potentially more life-changing than Juliana versus the United States.
I would like to thank Georgia Interfaith Power and Light for making this movie available to us before its public release next weekend. I watched this film with other UUCA congregants on Friday evening, and it reinforced the fact that our climate is changing quickly. 21 youth under the age of 18 felt that the U.S. government was not doing enough to change. This made the youth concerned that they might never get to show their kids the places that they were born. Politicians said that they would do something, but instead they made it easier for oil companies to pollute the earth. The youth decided to sue the government. These 21 plaintiffs rose to the challenge for change, to ensure that the future generations would have a clean earth. The lawsuit did not win in the courts, but youth all around the world got inspired and sued their governments for not doing enough. The 7th UU principle states that we respect the interdependent web of all existence for which we are a part. Because we are all connected to our ecosystems around us, our actions can have positive or negative tolls on our ecosystems. This film showed that kids can be worried about their future and reminded me that I have the power to inspire positive change and become a climate activist. Thank you.
Today, our Give Away the Plate goes to Georgia Interfaith Power and Light, or GIPL, as we call it. It is my honor to introduce you to Beth Remis, a board member of GIPL. Beth is a public school registrar and sustainable lifestyle consultant. She leads GIPL's Forward Directions Fund program. Beth attends Unity Atlanta and lives in Lilburn, Georgia. I'm thrilled for us to contribute to the vital work of Georgia Interfaith Power and Light.
Good morning. I'm really honored and grateful to be here today, and you did such a good job. I'm so glad that GIPL was able to help your youth program view that movie. That was awesome. And I also just want to start by saying that UU Church is near and dear to my heart. This is the first congregation I came to when I moved to Georgia over 16 years ago. And I'm also really closely affiliated with the congregation in Gwinnett. Of course, pandemic's put a little, hitch in that. We haven't been in person in a long time, but I just want you to know that I'm really grateful for this church and this community and all that you guys do. So I'm here to tell you a little bit more about Georgia Interfaith Power and Light and all that we do. So as Lee said, I'm Beth Remis. I am on the board of GIPL, and I also teach the sacred activism workshops, some of which you guys have attended online, but we're going to get back in person soon. GIPL is an interfaith nonprofit whose mission is to engage communities of faith in the stewardship of creation as a direct expression of our faithfulness and as a religious response to global climate change, resource depletion, environmental injustice, pollution, and other disruptions in creation. For over 17 years, GIPL has worked to inspire and equip congregations to engage in faithful environmental action. To date, GIPL has partnered with over 500 congregations and 90 green teams, helping them to reduce their energy consumption and advocate for environmentally just policies at the local, state, and federal levels. So as you know, because you have a climate action team, GIPL engages congregations in three primary ways. The first is that we work with green teams, which is 3 or more individuals who are dedicated to the work of advancing environmental stewardship in your faith community. We provide support and structure to new green teams and help them identify sustainability goals and initiatives to implement in their congregations. And one of the green teams up north actually did bat boxes as one of their projects. We offer an energy efficiency solar, water, and zero waste program. These programs allow congregations to take practical steps to lower their individual and institutional carbon footprints. And we work at the local, state, and federal policy level to advocate for systemic change and justice for communities most affected by the climate crisis. We help equip faith communities to be advocates by offering advocacy training, letter writing campaigns, and opportunities to meet and talk with their legislators about environmental policies. GIPL has had the joy of working with UUCA for several years. In March 2017, UUCA formed a green team known as the Climate Action Team. You guys have participated in green team coaching, working closely with a GIPL staff member to identify goals for greening the congregation, and engaging in advocacy. This congregation has participated in GIPL's PowerWise program implementing energy efficiency retrofits and upgrades on site. You've offered several GIPL classes and workshops over the years and have been a leader in local, state, and advocacy efforts. We are so grateful for this partnership and this congregation. Thank you so much for choosing GIPL as this morning's Give Away the Plate recipients. This morning's offerings will now be given and gratefully received. Thank you.
Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rain comes tumbling down. Pulling weeds and picking stones, we are made of dreams and bones. I feel the need to grow my own, 'cause the time is close at hand. Grain for grain, sun and rain, I'll find my way in nature's chain. Tune my body and my brain to the music from the land. Plant your rows straight and long, temper them with prayer and song. Mother Earth will keep them strong if you give her love and care. An old crow watching hungrily from his perch in yonder tree. In my garden, I'm as free as that feathered thief up there. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rain comes tumbling down.
Blessings on your little seeds out there, wherever they are. Blessings on your efforts, no matter how imperfect and small. Blessings upon your at-home recycling bin where you didn't mix the glass or the plastic, or you didn't separate them all properly. Blessings on your letters to the editor. Blessings upon your phone calls to your representatives. Blessings upon your choice to run for office, to put yourself out there. Blessings upon the tree you're saving. Blessings especially upon your hope, your precious hope, for all that we can still save. Blessings upon your work, Georgia Interfaith Power and Light, and upon this gift of this community to come together and hope and a prayer week after week. Please join me now as we dedicate this morning's offering. To the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action we call community, we dedicate our lives and these our offerings. This morning's reading will be presented to us by the bringer of this morning's flowers, Lizanne Moore.
Oops.
Yep, you'll want to bring that down a little.
Hello. Get this down a little bit and find my place. Okay. Ode to Dirt by Sharon Olds. Dear Dirt, I am sorry I slighted you. I thought that you were only the background for the leading characters, the plants and animals and human animals. It's as if I had loved only the stars and not the sky, which gave them space in which to shine. Subtle, various, sensitive. You are the skin of our terrain. You're our democracy. When I understood, I had never honored you as a living equal. I was ashamed of myself, as if I had not recognized a character who looked so different from me. But now I can see us all, made of the same basic materials, cousins of that first exploding from nothing, and our intricate equation together. Oh, Dirt, help us find ways to serve your life. You who have brought us forth and fed us, and who at the end will take us in and rotate with us and wobble and orbit.
This is a good day in our church calendar and our liturgical calendar because it is a celebration that spirituality and earth consciousness are not a contest between each other, but they are, should be, and can be fully integrated into our soulful connection with self, with earth, and with spirit. This is a time also to get very clear about how your beliefs are connected to your actions. So, I want to start with just sharing with you a couple of my very core essential beliefs. I believe that when it comes to God, everyone is right. I believe that people can always change. All people can always change. I believe there are enough resources today for everyone on earth to have enough. But here's something I do not believe in as a concept. I don't believe in laziness. This concept was generated, or at least it was largely perpetuated by slave owners to apply to the enslaved person's defiance, exhaustion, or simply their humanity and human need for rest and independence. Today, this pejorative lazy is still used. It is still applied to employees, to workers, those who labor. It is applied also to teenagers, to children, and young people. And friends, I don't believe it's real. I don't believe it exists at all. There are only 3 things you need in order to do the work: motivation, resources, and accountability. You need motivation, you need some resources, and you need some accountability. And another thing I believe the majority of people are good and want to do good. But when it comes to preserving our climate, our earth, we lack some of what we need to do this work. Some people, well, they might lack motivation. They feel fine about their personal lives and choices. Honestly, a Hummer is fine. Or whatever. I don't know if they make those anymore. They don't feel a spiritual connection to the planet or its inhabitants. This service is not for those people. Many folks, though, lack the resources of time and money to contribute meaningfully to climate preservation. And the corporate interests, those who do have the resources to do more, to do so much more, to regenerate, to preserve the earth, well, they appear to be relieved of their accountability measures at an ever spiraling rate. And also, they lack the motivation. Which is to say, we all have our work to do. As individuals and as communities, and part of that work is to increase accountability, increase motivation for the companies, for the industries who are doing the most damage to get to work, to get to the work of climate preservation. But still, there is something missing. Something that keeps the work from happening at the rate our doom requires. A missing piece in the puzzle of preserving our precious earth. Earlier this spring, some members of UUCA's climate action team introduced me to the exciting work of Dr. Ayanna Elizabeth Johnson, a marine biologist. By the way, how many of you wanted to be a marine biologist when you were a child? I wanted to. I read those Madeline L'Engle books. She's a marine biologist, she's a climate scholar and activist, and she's taking her work into the public sphere with a great blog, a podcast, a new book that's being released next year called What If We Get It Right? Visions of Climate Futurism. Ayanna, she is full of vitality, vigor, and hope. Now, those are three things we will need for the work of generations. She, as an African-American woman, she elevates BIPOC folks, women, and youth voices in her work, and she frames the need for us to understand that the work need not be perfect, nor need it be onerous. Okay, here's what's missing. Fun. Well, joy. Johnson, she was a consultant on Adam McKay's recent film, Don't Look Up. Anybody see that movie? I think it was Don't Look Up. It's a satirical comedy, farce, about the extremely serious possibility of Earth's destruction in our lifetime. She knows. The research reveals that humor can lower our defenses and make hard truths easier to hear. She knows we need all manner of compelling creations to reach all type of folks. And the point of all of it is to welcome more and more people into the joyful work of driving forward climate solutions. So 70% of adults in the United States say they are willing to take action on climate, but 51% say they don't know where to start. And though fervent climate science deniers get a lot of attention, they are only 7% of Americans. Amid all the dire news, these numbers are encouraging. So maybe with some film or GIF, did I say that right? GIF? Or TikTok has jostled you to think seriously about what you can do. Specifically, you. Well, this is one way to answer this question of what can you do. Think of a Venn diagram. Oops, I forgot. I was going to bring 3 circles. A Venn diagram with 3 overlapping circles. In the first, you put what you're good at. So, like, which Avenger are you? What are your specific superpowers? That's how she frames it. And in the second circle, put what part of the climate challenge you want to work on, your mission, should you choose to accept it. And in the third, you right there have what brings you joy, what's fun, what for you is not work at all because you love it so much. Then you find your way to the epicenter of that climate action Venn diagram for as many minutes of your life as you can. We don't all have to do the same thing. In fact, we shouldn't. You see, we are joining a marathon of hope, in the words of Parker Palmer, a marathon of hope. And while this work is ours to take up in our lifetime, the baton will be passed to future generations. But here's the thing about marathons. I mean, I've never run a marathon, actually, but what I can imagine is that most of running a marathon is not the thrill of the finish line. That's just one little moment. Most of it is mundane, boring even, just putting one foot in front of the other. And most of the work of restoring, regenerating, and caring for our planet is like this. It is common as dirt. If you are not doing your share, it is not because of laziness. Laziness, well, that's make-believe. It may be because you are not spending time in the center of those circles of action, the center where your passion, your skills meet your joy. The teen climate activist Xiye Bastida says it best: a vibrant, fair, regenerative future is possible, not when thousands of people do climate justice activism perfectly, but when millions of people do the best they can. This generation, even me, we were raised amidst the climate apocalypse, truly. Climate apocalypse, this feeling like we are on the decline, like it's all going to end. This is not cause for despair, friends. This is cause for focus. This directs our attention where it needs to be. We have before us spiritual tasks. The spiritual task to equip ourselves with the skills and the stories to seed future communities, future generations in the long labor of love, the marathon of hope that will preserve our precious, precious planet. Our faith is a tool, a powerful tool amidst this devastation and crisis. And it is enough. It is our passion that is our fertilizer. Our skills, well, that's the turning of the earth over and over. And our joy, our fun, our sense of fun and play, well, that's the magic ingredient to infuse the common dirt with germinating seed that sprouts into an idea, then an action, then grows and takes shape as a movement. And the vines, well, they reach towards the sky, and suddenly the whole community is working together, running the distance of Earth's regeneration and renewal. So, take a breath. Rest your climate anxiety. Lay it a little bit to rest. Your weary bones, just knowing that the work is as common as dirt. And dirt, that is where life is born. Amen.
Excuse me, we want to thank Reverend Strauss for that wonderful sermon. Can we join together now? Let's stand singing our closing hymn. I believe this is a favorite of UUCA, hymn number 1064, Blue Boat Home. Though below me I feel no more, ocean, standing on these mountains plain, far away from the rolling ocean. Still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue old home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the sea, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue old home. I give thanks to the winds upholding me, ere the great winds urge me on. Greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
You may be seated. So every year at Easter, like last Sunday, we host our flower communion. And every year at End Gathering, we host our water communion. Both are uniquely Unitarian Universalist rituals. Well, a number of years ago, the Asheville, North Carolina congregation began a third communion ritual, a dirt communion on Earth Day. So we decided to host our first blessing of the dirt this morning. My colleague Joy Berry writes, "We know that dirt is what happens when you live a life joyfully, voraciously, authentically. When you are too busy cooking food and loving people and dancing and making things to keep every corner spotless every moment of the day. We knock it off our shoes, we wash it off our faces, we sweep it off the floors, but it's part of us, and it should be. It's too powerful of a thing to forget and dismiss. Dirt is foundational. The readier we are to put down roots and to grow and to bloom and to go to seed, the more we need dirt. We are a faith that says, come whoever you are. Bring your imperfection. Bring your truest, most authentic self. Bring your dirt. We've all got it. It's part of what makes us whole human beings. So today, we have brought a little bit of dirt, a little bit of soil. So today you, hopefully, have brought a little bit of dirt, a little bit of soil where you find your peace, where you find your power, where you find your joy. Maybe from your garden, maybe from your playground, your favorite hiking trail, maybe from the resting place of someone or something you loved. There's power in all of that. So I'm going to invite you here in a few minutes as we reveal why our chalice looks the way it does. If Lee could come up here and help us do that transition here. I'm going to invite you to share your dirt with this community, to please bring your dirt and add it to the common bowl. So please join us now in our dirt communion. So if you have dirt, please make your way up here.
One of the things I'm most excited about our new campus is the expanse of green space. The chance to take a walk just on the grounds, at lunch to have gardens, to have butterfly gardens, to see kids playing in the meadows, to have an outdoor religious education classroom, maybe a sculpture garden. Oh, there's so many plans for this space. Of course, the Freedom Meadow that we already blessed a couple of years ago. Well, this dirt we have gathered together today will be placed on our land, that it may help us grow in body and in spirit as we come together to share the work and the reward of our efforts together. In the knowledge that we are imperfect, but join in communities of grace, we bless this dirt. In the belief that we humans share an origin and a common destiny, we bless this dirt. In a sustaining faith in human redemption and growth, we bless this dirt. With the wisdom that our work in service to the earth is holy labor, we bless this dirt. In understanding that all living creatures are connected and have a right to healthy soil and earth, we bless this dirt. And in the hope that we all continue to grow and transform in mind, in body, and in spirit, we bless this dirt. May this dirt be blessed. May each of you go now in blessing, in love, in hope, and regeneration. And may you please now enjoy this video from Climate Action Team member Susan Purrs, who created this gift for us, Wondrous Wings. Go in peace.
we're offline. I don't know. I've seen Good to see you. I can check with Lee. I might.
Thank you.